Hello everyone, thank you so much for participating in my presentation, the Unobtrusive Auditory Display for Weather Reporting. I'm Kai Chang, who is from the Louisiana State University. In the presentation, I will go through the definition and description, technical aspects, data sonification, listening fatigue, and future development of the project. The definition of contemporary sonification is essential in building relevance of the environmental phenomenon to listeners, while historical creative projects could arouse the collective remembrance and capture, interpret, and elaborate the uniqueness of auditory display of data-driven sonification. The project aimed to take reference to the features and undergo sonification of weather records by data retrieving in Open Weather API and design an unobtrusive auditory display for weather reporting. In the process of music making, auditory icons, ear cones, audification, and parameter mapping will be considered as the techniques in sonification. A Python script uses the base URL from Open Weather API with an API key to search for the existing information of the database. Through writing the Python script to retrieve and sort the data, it generates the unpacked data to different parameters of synthesizers in max MSP to undergo sonification. In the future, developer of the system could further enrich the archival system with computing and operate in different devices. The enhancement in fluidity and flexibility in the open source systems will facilitate ubiquitous computing. 6 data was retrieved through Open Weather API, including the temperature, humidity, pressure, wind speed, wind angle, and weather description. The data are from the city Baton Rouge, and it is where the Louisiana State University is located. Line charts were plotted and shows the visual representation of the changes. Thunderstorm happened in part of the retrieved data and lead to higher humidity, sudden and drastic temperature change, increase in air pressure, and wind speed. The description of the weather includes broken clouds, overcast clouds, light rain, moderate rain, scattered clouds, heavy intensity rain, clear sky, etc. And these words could map to mass MSP and trigger sound effects to signal listeners the changes. These sound effects create auditory icons and ear cones, which could form recurring patterns and be perceived intuitively. Therefore, listeners could navigate the symbolic sounds naturally and perceive the complex messages in the second dimension. The data retrieval process is important for reducing listeners' fatigue, and the project is going to elaborate the strategies of creating a relatively aesthetically pleasing sonic experience to reduce annoyance. Musicians could lessen the effects of listening fatigue by making the auditory display more integrated, varied, defined, and less prone to rhythmic or melodic irritants, according to the Sonification Handbook. The method of data retrieval, planning of musical theme and expression, structure development, prototyping trials, and reflective feedback could enhance listeners' sonic experience and reduce listening fatigue. For example, the sampling rate of data and the time of the sampling could be specified in the Python script through the sampling rate input and the current epoch Unix timestamp. Besides, the data could be sorted to specific cities to increase the degree of relevance to the listener's experience, and leads to their collective remembrance and commemoration. In the future, a server will be built to serve the auditory display of the data from Open Weather API, and it will undergo audio effect processing through tone.js and its control parameter. Web servers will allow more potential audiences to access the data visually and access its auditory display in the form of interactive media art in wherever location. Therefore, it could further enhance the accessibility of the artwork. Here's the reference list. It is the end of the presentation, and please feel free to leave any comments and suggestions. I'm happy to share my thoughts through the conference and email. Thank you for your participation.